Somebody put my phone up.
Okay, in all seriousness, because people are recording this, I'm gonna ask you to stay quiet, stay on task.
Is that smarter to just?
I don't care how you do it. That's, people are asking me how to do it, and I'm like, that's one method where you're gonna get everything I say.
Oh, wait, hold on.
This is not, the point of the semester test is not because I want to be that big of a jerk. I'm trying to teach a class to prepare you for a cumulative exam in May. And the only way to prepare for that is to periodically review what we've learned. I have a bunch of seniors who deservedly so are going to be exempt. I want them to review a little bit though. So I made a semester test. It's from a test bank of easier questions, and it's more questions. It's 75 questions that are like one line questions with one word answer choices. Everybody with me? It's not the questions you've had. It's from a test bank I get from an online community that I'm a part of. Example questions. Let's start going over example questions. The amount of energy transferred from an organism in one trophic level to another is approximately what percent?
10.
10%. The form of nitrogen most available to plants is?
Nitrates.
Nitrates. All right, we're going to point up if it releases carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We're going to point down if it takes it out. Respiration. Up. Very good. Combustion. Up. Photosynthesis. Down. Decomposition. Up. Up. First diagram you're going to see is going to be a biomass pyramid. If there are 1,000 calories in the producers, how many would be in the secondary consumers? 10. You go from producers to primary consumers to secondary producers. After the secondary consumers is the tertiary consumers. Very good. During every single phase in a biomass pyramid, so energy is lost. Where is that energy going?
Oh, shoot.
Like disperses.
Dispersed as heat. Very good. It's dispersed as heat. All right, I also asked you on 2 tests, I've asked you what a definition of net primary productivity is. I want you to be able to use that and write using that word. What is it?
It's the it's stored in the biomass of plants, right? So available for the consumers.
It's biomass available for consumers. All right, it's the biomass of plants available for consumers. All right, thank you, gentlemen. All right. What happens to energy loss as food chains get shorter?
It's not as
Energy loss decreases. As food chains get shorter, energy loss decreases. What biome has the lowest net primary productivity?
Arctic tundra.
Not tundra.
Desert.
It would be extreme desert or ice cap. What about out in the ocean? Would it be the coastal zone or the open ocean?
Open ocean.
Open ocean, very good. All right, what happens when ammonium ions are converted to nitrates? It's nitrification. It's what it's turned into. Remember, it's what it's turned into. So you have nitrification. What about when nitrates are converted into inorganic molecules such as nitrogen gas? That's denitrification. Yes, Taylor.
What's the difference between nitrites and nitrates?
It has to do with the number of how oxygenated the molecule is. For our purposes, there is none.
Oh.
For the purposes of APES, there's just no nitrates and nitrites. But it's NO2 versus NO3.
But I feel like there's a question that was like, what's the most useful for plants? It's
Traits.
Okay.
Nitrates.
So that's like the only thing.
Yeah, that's like the only thing you
Okay.
need to know. Okay? What do we call it when nitrogen gas is converted to ammonia?
Modification.
A modification. What do you call it when? What do we call it when nitrogen gas is fixed by bacteria in the nodules of legumes?
Nitrogen fixation.
Nitrogen fixation. That's nitrogen fixation. And what is an example of a legume? Soybeans. Soybeans. Where does an organism live? Habitat. What is a group of individuals of the same species in a given area?
Ecosystem.
Population. What is a group of organisms living together and interacting with their physical and chemical factors in their living and non-living environment?
Ecosystem.
Ecosystem. What percentage of the sun's total energy is caught by plants?
10. No, wait, 0.00.
Yeah, like less than 1%. That's all you need to know. Less than 1%, like 0.0001%. What biogeochemical cycle links all the other cycles together?
Carbon.
Hydrologic cycle, the water cycle. What major plant nutrient is most likely a limiting factor? Phosphorus. Ants, bees, wolves, and alligators are all these animals that have this big effect on their environment. They affect the biodiversity.
Keystone.
Those are keystone species. What do we call it when? What's the type of selection when we
Natural.
favor the extremes of a characteristics?
R.
Is it diversifying or directional selection?
Directional.
Diversified.
It's diversifying. Directional would be one side is favored versus the other. Most common spatial distribution pattern of animals. Clustered or clumped. Either word would work. What is an ecosystem's ability to bounce back after a disturbance?
Resilience.
Resilience, very good. All right, two types of competition, exploitation and interference. What's the relationship, which one is when competing species have roughly equal access but differ in how efficiently they utilize it? In other words, one's there at day, one's at night.
Oh. Specialization. Or, resource partitioning?
Exploitation, they have an exploitation. What is it when they fight with each other or one's chased off? That's interference.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense to everyone? Interference versus exploitation. That's probably as hard as this thing gets. What is the competitive exclusion principle?
It's like no two organisms can share one niche.
Yeah, no organisms can share the same niche. Is everybody with me on this? Everybody following along? We're moving quite quickly. An Arctic fox and a gray fox used to be one fox. Their populations spread out through speciation. What was the likely cause of that speciation? Via what process? The Arctic fox and the gray fox. Remember, one migrated way north, one stayed way south. Via what caused it though?
Oh, earthquakes? Like
Ice ridge.
No, what?
They followed
They were but one was
Isolation.
better at getting prey in a certain area than another one. It was a change in the environment, right? It was climate change due to the end of the last ice age. It's due to the end of the last ice age. Glaciation. The movement of glaciers caused it. Climate change. Everybody with you?
Yeah, I just would not have known that.
Yeah, I'm trying to lead you along through something without giving you multiple choice answers.
Okay.
Yeah, it's obvious. Was it mountains, water, or glaciers?
Oh, okay.
All right, moving on. Hey, Num, what's that a picture of? Huh? It's the ocean. That's that picture of the ocean in your book with all the different zones? I'm asking those. Study the zones of the ocean. Oh yeah. Yeah, dude. I wouldn't have it any other way. Here's a picture of the Earth, map of the Earth, and I point to different locations. Like I point to North Africa. What biome is in North Africa?
Desert.
The desert. Yeah, that one. That one. What's up in Canada?
Tundra. Arctic tundra.
No, not Russia, Canada. Is it boreal forest, tropical savanna, or A desert. Or a forest.
That's a border.
Alright. What's the difference between primary and secondary succession?
Primary is like there was nothing and then the
No soil.
lichens.
Presence of soil. In order for secondary succession to work, primary succession has to change rock into soil. Alrighty. Density independent versus density dependent population controls. What is disease? Independent or dependent?
Independent?
It's dependent. The closer they live together, the more of them they are, the more it spreads. What about parasitism? That's dependent. What about habitat destruction?
Independent.
Forest fires?
Independent.
Independent as well. You know to look over that tonight. Take a few minutes to look over it. All right.
Hey, when is our
I
test?
also have things about our selected species.
When is the exam?
Are our selected species early loss or late loss species?
Early loss.
Oh,
Those are early loss species. What would an early loss graph look like?
oh dang. So wait, so we don't come
Bunch
to
of the
class
population
for like
dives, and
the
then
next
it-
week or
like-
whatever.
Then a few of them
That's
make
dope.
it would be a big J curve.
So we got no class on Friday.
A big declining J curve. I have a bunch of stuff on population. What's the population of the Earth?
7 billion.
7 billion. Very good. What is I have a picture of the demographic transition model. See that, Reese? That's the demographic transition model, right? Yep, that's going to be on there, so you need to make sure that you look over that. Be able to calculate, given birth rate and death rate, the growth rate of a population. Remember, birth rates and death rates are per
Capita.
1,000. Percent growth rate is per
One guy.
100, so divide by
That's it.
10.
See, you don't say words.
All right.
Oh, it's stressed now.
What two countries make a third of the world's population?
China and India.
China and India. Very good. What are the two most important factors in climate?
Temperature and precipitation.
Temperature and precipitation. What's El Nino?
It's like the upwellings and
All right. Don't talk about what happens here. Talk about what happens in the Pacific.
the upwellings.
All right. Cold upwellings are suppressed, making the water warmer during
The
El Nino.
I don't know.
You have strong currents and strong upwellings, making the water colder during
La Nina.
La Nina. All right. What's the limiting factor in the rainforest?
Light.
Soil. You have terrible soil. I have 3 chromatographs on there. See, 3 chromatographs. They're easy to do, though. They're really easy. And then I have the zones of the freshwater lakes. See, Nathan? Zones of the freshwater lakes are on there. Do I need to go over those real quick?
Yes.
All right. So, what's the zone on the side that where plants grow up?
Littoral.
Littoral. What's the zone in the middle on the top of the water? It's green.
Benefic.
Limnetic.
Limnetic, yeah.
Limnetic. And then below that, the one that's profoundly dark is the
Does it start with a B?
profundal.
Profundo.
And then the bottom is the
Benefic.
benthic zone. That's all 75 questions. These are short, quick, with a lot of matching.
Wait, that was all
I just went through a
75?
little test.
Oh, hey.
In 13 minutes and 57 seconds.
Yeah, so I won't make it.
Does anyone have any
Bet.
questions? I gave the same test last year. Nobody had trouble finishing it. Yes,
So is it just gonna be 75 points on
it's 75 points. Yep. I am doing this, like I said, it's to try and get you. Do not go home and read 8 chapters of APES tonight.
I'm just gonna listen to this for like.
Please don't. Please don't do that tonight, because you'll come in shocked tomorrow. You won't be able to think of anything, and there's so much information in that textbook. Don't do that. Read Crash Course. Do some Crash Course. Some quick facts. And then get a good night's sleep, and you'll be fine.
Alright. Publish this.
All right, bell's going to ring in 2 minutes. If everybody can please push in the chair.
What's happening, dude?
What up?
Okay, so fire's independent, disease
you shoot it?
Yeah, anything
No, it's
where
away.
the more people you have,
Hey,
the more you
Joey.
get.
Hey, watch out, bro.
Fire's gonna affect
This whole ass ball, bro. Gang, hollow tip.
Hollow tip, gang. You still got that going there?
Yeah.